Well, hello everyone, it's Jordan Howard here, and in this video, I'll be answering should Christians watch sports? Whether Christians choose to watch sports or not is a matter of conviction, since this is a moral gray area. Let's go to Romans 14:14 and 1 Corinthians 10:31. I know and am persuaded by the Lord Jesus that there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. Whether therefore ye eat, or drink, or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. Romans 14:14 and 1 Corinthians 10:31 KJV. As Christians, we must follow our personal convictions no matter what anyone says. For example, if you feel convicted against watching sports, then you should not do so. On the other hand, if you do not feel convicted against watching sports, then you can watch sports to the glory of God, as long as you do not spend too much time on it. When it comes to things that are moral gray areas, we should ask if it glorifies God to do this. Let's see 2 Corinthians 3:15 through 18. But even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their hearts. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. 2 Corinthians 3:15 through 18 KJV. When we seek to glorify God, then we will live truly edifying lives, use our time wisely, and put Jesus Christ first. In anything that we do, we should do it to the glory of God, which means that we should not indulge in sin and we should not go against our convictions, as that would also be a sin. No, we must follow our convictions. If you do not feel convicted against watching the sports, and if you choose to watch sports, remember that if your favorite team loses the game, then it is just a game, even if it's the biggest game of the year, and keep your joy in Jesus Christ. Now, let's go through the pros and cons of watching sports. The pros of watching sports are that it can be fun, especially if powerful plays are taking place. Watching good plays in sports games could also teach leadership, teamwork, practicing something good makes better, and creating a goal for something good. Watching sports should be done in moderation, since moderation is key when it comes to stuff like watching sports, playing innocent video games, etc. Now, on the other hand, let's take a look at the cons of watching sports. The cons of watching sports is that some sports highlight videos, especially ones that are done on controversial teams, can be filled with comments where people are being bullied or taunted for being a fan of a certain team. I have put together a picture of several different comments that are evidence of this, and before we continue with the video, you will have some time to read the comments that are in the picture and pause the video if you need to. Now, what did you think about all those nasty comments? If you were disgusted, disappointed, or angered by those comments in any way, shape, or form, then it shows that you care about the people who are being bullied or taunted in the comments. On the other hand, if you love those comments, or if you celebrate a team's failure, then that will reveal something horrible about your character. Let's see Ephesians 4:29 through 32. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness, and wrath, and anger, and clamor, and evil speaking be put away from you, with all malice, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. Ephesians 4:29 through 32 KJV. Likewise, we should not bully or taunt people, all because they are a fan of a certain sports team. We should never ever wish failure on a sports team, even if that sports team is the rival of your favorite sports team. You also should not wish failure on the most controversial sports team. How would you feel if you were being bullied or taunted in the comments for being a fan of a particular sports team? How would you feel if you were how would you feel if you played for a particular sports team and someone wished failure on the sports team that you play for? We must lead by example and we must have integrity, which means that we shouldn't have any hypocrisy. As for jokes about sports teams, it is okay to joke about sports teams as long as they are not rude jokes. Let's head to Ephesians 5:1 through 5. Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love, as Christ also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us an offering, and the sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling savour. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as becometh saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Ephesians 5:1 through 5 KJV. As Christians, we should not tell rude nor inappropriate jokes because those types of foul jokes can hurt others. Now, here is what you should do if you are bullied or taunted in the comments for being a fan of a certain sports team. If this happens to you and are therefore on the receiving end of these nasty comments, then you should forgive the person who did this. You should also pray for this person, evangelize to this person by posting a comment where you share the gospel. You could also ask the person how would they feel if they were being bullied or taunted for being a fan of a certain sports team. Do not let the nasty comments that you received steal your joy, and do not let other nasty comments steal your joy. In conclusion, whether Christians choose to watch sports or not is a matter of conviction. If you feel convicted against watching sports, then you should not do so. On the other hand, if you do not feel convicted against watching sports, then you can watch sports to the glory of God, as long as you do not spend too much time watching sports. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. And goodbye.